my goodness. Hey y'all. I am totally wintering it out. It is yeah, it's almost the end of Pisces season and Tennessee got some snow and I am feeling it and vibing with it. And so I was like, we're gonna go with it. So I wanted to come on here and what I mean with that was just my outfit, if that wasn't clear. But I wanted to come on here and share my story of being a generator and human design, and my application of it in the context of my relationship to myself, my true self, and the other parts of myself that are in existence right now, and or that I can connect to that might not be fully tapped into love or the divine or my true self, however you want to kind of look at it. So let me go ahead and say this, a couple things actually. One, I have not been officially trained by anyone. This has literally just been my experience and the little bit of knowledge through like Google and Instagram that I've learned these things, and just like I said, my own personal application and experience of it. So yeah, I do have a dream to eventually become certified and stuff, and that will happen in its own timing. But I really just wanted to share what my process looks like, and the experience of that emotionally, energetically, and what that, yeah, its application to, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but its application to my personal transformation journey in whatever area I'm wanting to transform. Because any area that I want to transform, it's because I want to transform it to a higher level of my true self. So, I mean, it can be anything, like eating. If I want to transform my eating, I'm doing it with the intention of doing something that's good for me and something that's in alignment with my highest good for right now, and or the highest good that I want to be, that I see myself in my mind's eye, see myself growing and coming into. So yeah, hopefully that all made sense. But so a generator, for those that are kind of new to human design or don't know a single thing about it, refer to the video that I have already done. A generator, more specifically, is someone who has a sacral defined, and this sacral has the energy of a motor. So basically, it's always continually going. There's a potential, and there is a potential and an existence of it continually developing, growing. I mean, just changing, whatever. It's always, there's energy, active energy in this center. And so with a generator, that center is a creative center. It's a intuitive center. If you look at the sacral chakra, it's very, similar to that. And from my understanding of it and my experience of it. And the other thing is that the more that a generator listens to that, the more that they become magnetic and they magnetize things to them, whether it's people, opportunities, things. They magnetize things to them that are giving them an opportunity to respond with their sacral authority, or with their, other authorities as well, but with their sacral. Which then, the more that that person is responding in that context, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and better and better and better. This is, that's what it's been for me so far. It's been so fun. And I feel like I'm only at the very beginning of it, but it's been so much fun. So that is kind of generally what it is. So, and there's a lot more to it, but for the sake of what I'm wanting to share today, that's the basics. Something that with any aura type that you are, the biggest thing that I think I mentioned in the last video is to listen to your strategy and listen to your authority. Your strategy will change depending on the type of aura that you have, which is your type. So it's like a generator, manifesting generator, manifester, projector, or reflector. So your strategy changes based off of that. And they encourage you to focus on that, as well as your authority, which changes based off of essentially each person. No matter if you have two manifesting generators in a room, they could have two different authorities. The only one that doesn't change, to my knowledge, is the reflector. That's a little different, but all the other ones, it kind of changes. So, and this authority is the place that gives you the power to make a decision, and is also this authority that is connected to your intuition, which is also connected to your true self, your true aura, your true essence, all that beautiful, yummy goodness stuff. So, yeah, I'm a generator, and I am a sacral generator. And so that means that my type is a generator and my authority is a sacral. The sacral space is what I am meant to listen to whenever I want to connect to my intuition, whenever I want to connect to my true self. That's what I listen to. My strategy is to respond, not to initiate, not to wait to be pursued, or to wait to be seen, to be invited. My my strategy is to respond. And whenever I'm listening to, and this is what I've learned so far, whenever I'm listening to my sacral responds. And the more that I practice listening to my authority, my sacral, the more that I can notice what it feels like to respond. And whenever I am paying attention to that and I notice that, then I can actually take that sensation of what it feels like to respond and apply it to anything and everything. And whenever I do that, whenever I apply it to anything and everything, then notice how I'm like more laid back, and I'm like, literally my body language is like, yeah, whatever. But whenever I allow space to respond, I actually, oh gosh, it's so cool. I actually just am able to chill and sit back, relax, trusting that my sacral is going to show me the way, that my sacral is going to give me clarity on how the direction that I need to do and be, and also like how it's going to respond. So there are things that the more that I notice how it responds, and the more space that I give it to respond to something, that actually gives me more clarity on my connection to my intuition and my true self. So there are things that my sacral response is like, no, or no. Like, or yes, or yeah, let's do that. Like it literally, and it takes practice. So all that to say, I've been doing this for, I want to say like a year or two of practicing, listening to my strategy and my authority. And the biggest thing for me being a sacral generator, let me get my tea. That almost went down the wrong pipe. Okay. The biggest thing for me that I have began doing is listening to my authority. I think that's where I started, because it was the easiest thing for me to apply, because I kept reading. If your authority is sacral, all you have to do is ask yourself a question, yes or no question, and see what comes up. And not necessarily that your mind is like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense, and yes, this is a yes. But it's less about that and more about the how your body responds. So, for lack of a better example, I'm trying to even think of an example, whenever you come across a person and you're like, oh, that is your body responding. versus, oh no, they seem nice. You know, yeah, I kind of feel off about it, but no, they seem nice. That's your mind responding. And so whenever I can, or if I come across like a baby or a puppy or an animal or even ladybugs that are in my house right now, like that is whenever I see those things, I'm like, oh, it's so cute. So that's my body responding. My mind's not even turned on. Like my mind is like, oh, there's a baby there. That's cool. Those are cute. Like, yeah, I don't want one right now, but those are cute. That's my mind. But my body's like, oh, they're so cute. So that's, to give you an example, those are the body's responses. And the more that, and also the other thing with the sacral authority that I kept reading over and over again is that you are meant to listen to your hell fucking yes. That is your sacral responding. So whenever your body is like, yes, I want to do that. Yes, that is you listening to your intuition. That's you being connected to your essence, your true self. So that's where I started. And I will tell you that it continues to be, at the beginning, it was like I would feel a yes, but then I would sense a yes, and then it just wouldn't, it'd be okay, but it wasn't anything that would like get me really excited. Until eventually the more practice, the more I could kind of differentiate between like, no, this is my head saying this, and this is my intuition. This is my body truly speaking. And I'm still learning, but it's so fun. It's so, so fun. So whenever I do that, after I've been practicing this for a couple years now or so, whenever I do that in the context of me changing and growing myself and just wanting to tap into my true self, it has given me a lot of opportunity to discern and feel out the things that are good for me versus the things that my head wants to do, my mind wants to do, or things that I think I want to do because they make sense versus things that actually really light me up, the opposite of that, whatever that is. So, for example, I'm a pretty social person. I also like to be home a lot, but whenever I am social, for the longest time before doing human design, I would just go and give and, love on and all of this stuff without limits, because that's in my mind what I perceive that I should be doing. Because I love doing that. That's what my mind is. Yeah, I love doing that. But whenever I started to slow down and listen to my body, my sacral response, that is whenever I realized that there are days and times that actually I don't love doing that. And there are times whenever I still do, but it's given me an opportunity to kind of slow down and be like, okay, wait a second. This is not the best time to do this. My energy level, where I'm at right now that's not what I need to be doing. What I actually need to be doing is be home alone. Recording YouTube videos. But and it's been so interesting. So whenever that does happen, I actually, number one, become aware of that tendency of like, oh, this is actually frustrating me. This is actually really draining my energy whenever I go and do this, go and socialize and love on people, because I'm not listening to my sacral. I'm not asking, is this something that you want to do? Because my mind is like, yeah, no, this is what we want to do. We've always done this. This is nice. This is good. I enjoy socializing. And so with that, whenever I realize that, I actually can then take a step back and be like, okay, well, what's here that is making me feel like I need to do that? What's here that my mind is like, no, we need to do this. We need to do this. What's there? Because there's something here and I don't know what it is. So then I go and process and meditate and, journal and all the process, move my body, move my mind by meditation, move my body through music, maybe just music in my head. But that is then whenever I can increase my awareness of why am I believing that I need to go socialize as much as I have been. And then I can realize whenever I need to realize, oh, this has been a conditioned thing that, you learned from your mom, who probably learned from her mom, or whatever. And then you can kind of be like, okay, well, like, what makes me happy? What is something that I enjoy doing? Like, what would that look like for me? And then eventually, like I said, if there are beliefs or fears associated with that, then because I know that we hold trauma and beliefs and emotions in our body. So that's whenever, like I said, I move it out of my body consciously, which is a whole nother thing that I love doing. Yeah. So that is kind of a little bit, I want to make sure I didn't. The one last thing, because this is a bit longer than I was anticipating. One last thing that is really helpful for me in my process and discovery of my true self, and practice of my true self is whenever as I began listening to my sacral and actually following through with that, hell yes, I also noticed what the feelings that they talked about. So there's signposts, as some have called, that kind of help guide you on, like, this is, whenever you're feeling satisfaction for generators, whenever you're feeling satisfaction, you are living in your true self. Whenever you experience frustration, you're living in your not true self, which is likely your mind or some conditioning that you've taken on unconsciously. So, and everybody does it, so please don't feel bad if that's if that's something that you notice, and literally every single person. So but it's about whenever I started listening to that sacral and started, like, noticing what it feels like energetically, emotionally, like whenever I listened to that yes, I then started noticing what satisfaction feels like, deep satisfaction. And then, so now that I know what that feels like, I can also notice whenever I'm not feeling that and be like, okay, wait a second. I need to slow down, and we need to figure out what's going on here, because I want to be back here. I don't want to be over here. And so that's whenever I'm like, okay, well, once again, back in the process of, like, is there something I'm believing, or is there, I just kind of, my mind doesn't even go. It's less about my mind trying to figure it out and more about me giving space to my emotional world, to my heart, to my mind, giving space and time to be able to see and hear whatever needs or wants to be seen and heard inside of me. And so, and then eventually, and once again, journaling, meditating, all that stuff. But those are things that kind of help me. And I just wanted to add this in here too. Like, I think that with a lot of old ways of being, just saw, I think, a crow. I don't know. I like them, but old ways of being, that it's very easy for us to believe that our true self is mirrored in the energy of working hard and just going after what you want, and the hustle and grind culture, and I think it might look a little different than that. I'm not saying that we need to, like, slow down and do nothing, but I also think that there is a different energetic approach that is still getting things done, but is more connected with flow, satisfaction, and joy. Because whenever you think of the different levels of frequency, the lower levels is where the sickness comes in, the mental health things come in, the wounds come in, all of that stuff, the darkness. And darkness is not necessarily a bad thing, because we need both. But whenever we're living our life from this place, this lower place, and just living in the sickness of that lower vibration, and not having that balance of that lighter perspective, of that satisfaction feeling, that higher perspective, not experiencing that balance, I think that's where things just can get heavy and can get lonely and people can get lost in that and stuck in that. And personally, I don't think that our darkness and however we experience it, I don't think it's meant to be something that we get stuck in. I think it's meant to be something that we hold space for and allow it to coexist in a beautiful harmony, union of energies with the satisfaction, the joy, the light, the hope. So all that to say, while hustle and, get all that work done, get all the shit done, like, let me get my true self. My true self is successful. My true self is this weight. My true self is this marriage or this, whatever it is, this number, money number. Like, I think that there's something that can be good in that, but it's also about, once again, that energetic approach to it. That's that balancing, because that hustle and that grind and all of that stuff is kind of from my perspective, a lower level that produces the physical and mental illnesses. So if we can somehow find balance with that, of the hustle and getting things done, but from a different energetic approach, that integrates the lighter and higher vibe of, joy, satisfaction, all that stuff. I think that there could be some really good stuff that comes with that. That's what I'm practicing, at least. Thank you for joining me. Mwah. Hope you enjoyed.